Good morning to you, good afternoon, good evening, depending on what time you are watching or listening to this clip. God bless you. Thank you for coming back to class again today, as we are going to be looking at something very special as usual. All right, so thank you so much, but I think it's proper for me to begin by appreciating you. I've got some increase in the number of subscribers, and I believe you have subscribed. If you have not subscribed, please add your subscription to the number. Let it keep growing so long as you're getting content. I know you're satisfied. I know that you are satisfied. If you are not, then you are in the process of being satisfied. Thank you. Your presence is helping me to get fulfilled, and I believe God is also blessing you. Thank you so much. Please subscribe, and press the notification bell, so as I post new videos, you will be the first to receive, one of the first to receive the updates. Okay, then the like button. Okay, also there's a comment section. Make your comments. You do know that I appreciate comments quite a lot because they help me to improve. So God bless you and welcome to class again today. All right, so we are going to be looking at a topic that says beyond romance, why love still feels, leaves you empty. Beyond romance, why love still leaves you empty. All right, let's pray to start. Father, we thank you. We appreciate you again to be back to class today. Thou, Holy Spirit, we trust that it's you that will minister to our heart. This word, minister to our spirit and bring us the better us. Bring out the better us in us. We pray this in Jesus' name. Amen. All right, welcome back. Welcome back. So we're looking at beyond romance. Beyond romance. Why do people still feel, empty? Despite the quantum of romance, or maybe I should also add the quality of romance. I do not intend to start making definitions of what romance is all about, but that feeling good attitude, from the dopamine and all of those oxytocin, those hormones which make you feel good because someone is paying attention to you. That's what we're talking about, the romance. Somebody's giving you, enough of attention or something, maybe by sending you text messages. It could be phone calls. It could be, one kind of method of paying a close attention to you. You feel loved. No, we do know love is a mental attitude. Love is indeed a mental attitude. You just feel so good. You feel good, you feel relaxed, you feel you are loved, you feel you're cared for, you feel, something. But in spite of all of this, why is there still emptiness, a feeling of emptiness in people? You want me to say lovers? Even between husband and wives, if, it's just about romance, if it's just about romance, which is basically superficial, which is basically on the surface skimming, if it is just about romance, this touch and this feeling of, goodness and all of that, I'm loved, if it's just that, emptiness is going to return. So today we're going to be looking at, why there's still that hollowness. There's still that hollowness. Can you explain why you are still having a feeling of, hollowness? Perhaps let's paint a picture as we start. Can you imagine people who have just gotten married? Can you imagine perhaps people who have just been to, they have just observed what we usually call honeymoon, and before you know it, as if there's an anticlimax in the excitement, the love, and all of that, and there's just the return of that feeling of emptiness or something. Somebody's asking himself, somebody's asking herself, is this just all? Is this all about, this love, this marriage, this relationship, and all of that? That question creeps up because there's an emptiness that is, brewing in the inside of a partner or something. Or can you imagine people, Well, when you notice people keep changing, they keep changing their partners, why do they keep changing their partners, their associates, their relationship partners? Why do they keep changing them from one to the other and all of that? Why is there no absolute satisfaction? Just because it is dependent on romance alone. And romance hasn't got the capacity, to retain this fullness in a relationship. I want to repeat that romance was not bestowed, was not given the capacity, to retain relationship in all its entirety. And so this lesson is quite important today. Have you not also noticed people who are very happy in relationships, very happy in relationships, but somehow they still feel there is an emptiness. They still feel depression. They still feel the depression, and some people even feel anxiety. Remember in our last video or so, I think the second to the last or so, we have several of those videos now. You can check our YouTube. The handle is Benjamin Edem, where we're dealing with all kinds of topics, several of them now. We are able to establish the fact that some people still feel anxiety. Anxiety is the worry concerning tomorrow, concerning the future. So even romance partners, still feel anxiety. Over time they still feel anxiety. That is the worry concerning their future in that relationship. They worry concerning what tomorrow holds for them, even in that relationship. And some experience what we call depression. That is present feeling for now. What's making them unsettled? What's making them not fully satisfied, and all those kind of things. So we are saying this video is very important. It's very good for all of us, where we need to establish the fact that romance is not all sufficient. I think I need to say it. This romance brings about excitement. Excitement is very good. We just get excited, that, you have a partner who thinks of you all the time, and you feel honored that there's a phone call all the time, somebody's talking to you all the time. Unfortunately, some people depend on these things, not knowing that it's not going to be sufficient. We're going to see several reasons why this romance is not enough to retain a relationship, or to give you a full or permanent satisfaction in any relationship. Good as romance is, excited as romance is, it brings excitement. Romance brings excitement. Romance brings affirmation. Romance brings warmth. That warmth is there. Somebody's there. If I pick a phone now, if I just dial my number now, a number now, someone is going to say, hello, darling, how are you? How do you do? I love you, and all of that. There's the warmth is there. The excitement is there. The affirmation is there. And you just, see it, happen, and you're happy about it, yes, because of the dopamine and the oxytocin hormones, which the feel good hormones in the inside of you. But I can tell you that you yourself, you're witness to the fact that just a matter of time, just some time, you just feel that something is missing. Something is not quite right. What is not quite right? Why am I having this feeling? I thought by the time I have a partner, maybe a boyfriend there, a girlfriend there, life is all over for me. I mean, this is no. There is an emptiness that will never go away over time in any relationship, except you will do, or as this video is going to make recommendation, how you can feel satisfied in any relationship. It does not have to depend on romance alone, because romance, as I've said earlier on, does not have the capacity to feel total you. No. As a matter of fact, maybe we need to say it. Why is so? Why is it so? Because every human being is tripartite in nature. It's three in one nature. A human being is primarily a spirit being. That's the point. A spirit being. And then he has a soul. He's given a soul with which he can be familiar or relate to people in the environment. And the spirit and the body and the soul, spirit and the soul, live in the cranium box, right there in the skull, in the body. So the spirit and the soul live in the body. So man is primarily a spirit being, and then he has a soul, and both live in the body. So that makes it three parts of a person. Now, when you're talking about romance, romance can excite the soul, and it can give pleasure, to the body. But you see, it does not feel the emptiness in the spirit. There's just one person. There's just one entity that can give you a sense of purpose and feel the emptiness in your spirit, and that's God. He created man such that he has left in a position for himself. If you don't think you want to consider anything about, the deity, your creator, the creator of the heavens and the earth, you don't care about God, you don't care about worship, you don't care about anything, you are going to experience depression in the best of all marriages. No matter what provisions are made available, no matter how everything fills the house, the human heart, I can tell you, romance does not satisfy everything about, the person. Now I'm going to tell you why. Because apart from the romance, there are three basic needs that needs to make a person fulfilled. Romance alone, love alone, touch me here, touch me there, is not enough. It's not enough. So what are the things? There's a need in human being. There's a need for belonging. There's a need for belonging, where you feel, rooted. You feel, rooted, somewhere. You are known. You are rooted somewhere. I'm known here. I belong here. My place is there. My position is there. And without me in that place, something is not there. Also, someone is not there. There's a vacancy. That feeling of belonging is important, for one to maintain a relationship. Not just about romance, not just about the physical. And this is what we are dealing with today. Remember, the topic is, beyond romance, why love still leaves you empty. Beyond romance, why love still leaves you empty. All right. So the other, I was mentioning three obvious needs that will help you to feel fulfilled. Apart from romance, one is the need for belonging. Next is the need for identity. You want to know who are you. You want to know who are you. It's just beyond who loves me. Who are you? Identify yourself. Identify who you are, and know who you are. Know what makes you important, what makes you thick, and of course, what makes you tick. I distinguish between the two. THICK, what makes you good, powerful, strong, emotionally okay, feeling good. And then TICK is what makes you a bore, what mars you, what brings you down, what humiliates you. And so when you have a proper identity of yourself, you know what makes you thick and what makes you tick. All right, then the third need is the need for purpose, or need for significance. Need for purpose. You need to know why you are here. Can I tell you something, friend? Love a boy, love a girl, love a man, love a woman. I don't care how old you are in marriage. I don't care how long you've been in marriage. There's going to be a return of emptiness. And you suddenly feel that it's come to terms with the fact that romance or love or sex does not fill you up, does not it, at a point that excitement expires. That's just the truth of the matter. Excitement expires. I think in the course of this video, God helping us, if there's sufficient time, and I don't want the video to be too long, so if there's sufficient time, I'm going to be stating 7 categories of people who think that romance is enough in a relationship. But they suddenly find that out, as they grow old in relationship. They suddenly find out that romance is not enough. All right, so these 3 categories, I said there's a need for belonging, there's a need for identity, and there's a need for purpose, which is significance. That's what makes what in romance incapable of feeling you properly. Romance alone cannot carry such weights. They can't carry such weights without breaking. Romance cannot carry the weight of belonging. Romance cannot carry the weight of identity. Romance cannot carry the weight of purpose or significance. No, it can't carry. There is an entity. God feels the person. He feels the person and gives him, a sense of belonging, a sense of identity, a sense of purpose, a sense of mission in life. All right, so having started up this way, let me quickly mention a couple of reasons. A couple of reasons why romance is not enough. People who are in a fine, beautiful, romantic relationship still, find the emptiness in the inside of them. Perhaps you too. Perhaps you too. Maybe I should ask you, how do you see what I'm talking about? In your relationship, how do you see it? How long have you been together? Are you beginning to feel something that is missing? Despite the fact that your man is all over you, your woman is always there, 247. But are you beginning to feel the emptiness somehow, somehow? You're asking yourself, is this all? For how many years am I going to just live with this? Just this? And some women, unfortunately, are just they see themselves as slot machines, just for the other room, the bedroom, or something, something. Cook food, we serve food, and then sex. You're going to get fed up. You're going to get to a point that the excitement wanes. And so you must know what's important to keep a relationship, and to even be important, continually important in a relationship, is beyond romance. All right, let's look at some of the reasons why romance is not enough. Number one, love doesn't fix everything. Love or romance, no matter how pervading, no matter how persistent it is, there is a cultural lie. It's a cultural lie where I come from that makes you feel that we're told that once you find love, that it will fix everything. That's a cultural lie. No matter how pervading, no matter how persistent it is, I'd like to let you know that finding love will not fix everything, because love doesn't fix everything. And not as if love is not trying, but love was not given the capacity to do that. The emptiness is still there. Does love is beautiful, love is good, but love doesn't fix everything. Romance doesn't fix everything. There come a time that you feel, well, I think there should be something to add to this romance. There's something more serious than this. When the deeper sense of emptiness comes and all of that, you just discover that no, 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 there's something more. There should be something more. No, 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 this can't be all. There must be something more. That's why I said number one reason why romance is not enough in any relationship, but to hold any relationship together, or to make anyone feel constantly and progressively satisfied in any relationship. Romance is not enough. Okay, we're talking about romantic relationship now. I know there are other relationships that are not romantic, there are official relationships, there are business relationships, and all of that, but we're narrowing down to what our core niche is about: relationships. And we're talking about marital relation, love and marital relationships. So today we're dealing with reasons to know. Now we're dealing with reasons to see why romance is not enough in your relationship. Okay, let's look at point number two. I mentioned point number one, that love doesn't fix everything, romance doesn't fix everything. It's a cultural lie for you to believe that. All right, let's look at the second point. I want to say that over expecting what love could do is overestimating and over expecting what love could do. When you think that you have full satisfaction, absolute satisfaction, continuous satisfaction, permanent satisfaction is in the romance, then you have what? Overestimating and over expecting what romance can, what romance or love can do. No, no, no. Love doesn't fail you. It may not fail you, but it was not designed. It was not designed, to be your completion. That's the point. Love plays a role to the extent it was assigned, it was given. Romance plays the role to the extent it was given. Nobody assigned, the creator did not assign the role of, deepening the roots in any relationship only in romance. So you're over expecting if you think because you're romantic, you're all the time all over. I'm all over my partner. She's all over me. I'm all over her, and all of that. Because you're romantic. Oh, look at how beautiful she is. This 36, 36, 36. Look at how he calls me all the time. The man loves it. Love alone, romance alone will not retain that relationship permanently. It will not. It will not. You will not get satisfied fully. If you continue, you'll be overestimating and over expecting what romance can do if you are thinking that full satisfaction will be in love, or what you call romance. Do you understand what I'm saying? So that's the truth. Let's just be frank. Are you not still having this hunger in the inside of you? For those who have been in relationships 3 years, 4 years, some who are marital relationships, who are in marital relationships know that for 20, 30, 40 years, they are still with the same person. They are still with the same person. And if you're, the romantic nature of the person, the physique of the person, if your satisfaction was how she looks, will she look the same for this many years? Will he look the same for this many years? And so if you're not going to be satisfied because there are changes which are, but some are biological changes, some as a result of acquisition of education, some status, social status have changed. Changes come. So when that happens, do you think that you are still going to, romance is still going to be enough to retain that relationship? Woman, did you not imagine a day will come that your physical body, even though it's still as attractive, but it's not enough to hold your husband in the house? Are you not having that experience? Or do you not feel that same way? That's what we're saying, that there must be the identity, there must be the need. Try to seek for a way to satisfy the need of belonging, the need of identity, and the need of purpose as far as your existence on earth is concerned. All right, let's look at point number 3 quickly. I think I have to raise up now so I don't overstretch, this video. So point number 3, why romance is not enough, is because romance only satisfies a momentary need of a person, not the foundational one. Romance only satisfies momentary needs. And these momentary needs, they fade over time. They fade over time. But the foundational needs will ask such questions as, who am I? Do I matter? What is my life for? What's my life for? And such questions lead you to the meeting foundational needs, not just these momentary needs, these temporary needs, these physical needs, and which fades over time. So please take note of this: that romance only satisfies momentarily; it will fade over time. That's the point. It will fade over time. That doesn't mean you have lost value, but that is just that saying that romance has got to the end of the road based on what was encoded into it. It was not meant to fully fill you permanently for life. There must be other needs to meet. Okay, let's look at point number 4. I want to rush now. Point number 4. You know why romance is not enough in a relationship? While there's still a feeling of emptiness, because the presence of what of such emotions as fear, as rejection, as shame, and all of those things, they are there. When there's a romance, you can still have the romance. Is all about external love. It's all about external. So when you have these things, then you are going to be having some internal issues over time, and that is what have I put myself? What am I? Why there no full satisfaction? Yes, that's it. Why there no full satisfaction? And you begin to have some internal, feelings, internal wounds of rejection. I call it wounds of rejection, of fear, of shame. Sometimes unresolved pasts, are haunting you, and you are wondering, am I not in love anymore? It's the person you loved. He still loves you. She still loves you. But you know what? Love has exhausted his limits. There's something more than romance. There's something more than all of those physical and social things you are seeing and outside things. The presence of rejection, shame, fear, and all of that is going to return over time. That's why you should work towards it. Work so that when it comes, you'll be able to arrest it. Many times I tell people, these things are things to be planned for. A typical new baby that is born has not got any virus or any of this bacteria in the inside of the body. No, it doesn't have it. But you know what immunization means? Immunization means taking this baby to the clinic or something, and a laboratory produced virus or bacteria is injected into this baby. The virus that has come into the body, innocent body that has nothing like that, now grows along with that body. It grows along with the baby's body and possesses the body and owns the body. That's what is called immunization. Now, when the child, as the child grows, and any external virus or bacteria bearing that same name or in that same category that attacks that body will meet resistance, because inside of it there is what an attenuated and laboratory produced, please pardon me, laboratory produced what, bacteria or virus growing already in that body and has possessed that body. So what is inside fights what is just coming in on the outside. That is what immunization is all about. And now we are saying that your relationship ought to be immunized. Your relationship ought to be immunized. How? By not just depending on the romance and the love and what you see on the outside. Let there be a sense of what? Belonging, a sense of identity, a sense of mission, a sense of purpose, a sense of faith, and all of that in a relationship is going to help you, to be able to retain that relationship and enjoy it for long, Over time, you suddenly lose appeal for sex. That's the point. That's why you see very beautiful men who marry beautiful wives. Over time, they are going around some other women out there in the streets. The same beautiful woman, that they almost died for. Then they start changing partners, because at the end of the day, there's something new. They need something that brings freshness. Sense of identity, sense of purpose brings freshness in a person, renews a person. All right, God bless you. Let's look at point number 5. Point number 5, I said romance, still leaves an emptiness. Despite the romance, still leaves an emptiness in a person, because romance itself is conditional. It's only belonging that is existential. Belonging is existential. Romance is conditional. You can have romantic affection, with somebody, and of course, that this thing depends on the moods. It depends on the moods of the person. It depends on if one has made some mistakes or the seasons of the person. Sometimes even body seasons, it's even the body changes and all of that alters the moods and all of that, and all of these things affect the romantic nature of a relationship at any point in time. So it's not romance is only conditional. It's conditioned on the mood. It's conditioned on the mistakes of the mistake. Conditioned on the season. Conditioned on the environmental factors, or sometimes and all of that. There's no deep sense of belonging in romance, and that's why we're saying it is better. Belonging is existential, and that is far more better than what? That just romance. All right, so this is what is important. Why is belonging existential? Because that's when you start asking questions. Am I safe? Am I seen? Am I accepted? Even when I fail. And belonging tells you yes to all of that. You are seen, you are accepted. Even when you fail, you are still, accepted. You are still relevant. You're still good. Belonging, it's not the romance and all of that. So let's be careful, because a partner's love cannot permanently supply the security that belonging can supply. If no matter who, your partner's love cannot, if you're expecting it, you're overstretching the expectation. You're overstretching the expectation. Your partner's love will not permanently, sufficiently, provide the security. Provide the security for your person as far as your emotional security is concerned. No. Romance was not given that capacity to do that. All right, let's look at point number 6. Point number 6, and we say romance gives connection but not meaning. Romance gives connection. That's why it still leaves an emptiness in the inside of a person. It gives connection. Romance will give you connection. I mean, see how beautiful he is. See how nice she is. And all of that. And oh, my wife is quite beautiful. And all of those things. Look at her. Oh, God. And all of that. It gives you connection. People admire you and all of that. But it doesn't give you meaning. Romance doesn't give you meaning in life. And I like to repeat this. It doesn't give you meaning. Romance doesn't give you meaning in life. It's like on the floor. In fact, the ground is very important. Everybody walks on it. But there's something more than the ground. You can call it the floor. When the ground has been advanced or something has happened to the ground, it can be promoted to be called the floor. Something has happened to the ground to promote it to be the floor. Romance is like the ground. To get to the floor level and beyond, then you must add what? You must add a sense of belonging. You must get to the point of knowing who you are. Your identity is important. Your mission in life is calling. It's important. You have a mission. You have faith. There are values. There are values. And you have what to contribute to this life. Until you discover these things, romance is not enough in any relationship. It doesn't matter what. It doesn't matter what. Even if you're in church and the pastor, they like you because a very beautiful person and all of that, without a sense of purpose, what you are doing to advance the purpose of that church is not enough. There are, so superficial view is not enough. Someone must be lying to someone. You can lie on somebody's arms for a long time and all of that, but suddenly you discover and you ask yourself, what is my life like? What is my life for? After that kind of romantic relationship, it's not enough. All right, let's look at point number 7. Point: romance depends on what? On the other person to be fulfilled. You depend on someone else when you're depending on romance. And human beings, instability in human beings. So you cannot be rooted, in something unstable. Human beings are basically unstable. Your partner is unstable. I'm just telling you the truth. You have to understand these things. So romance depends on what? Another person. Depends on your partner, that a romantic partner. It depends on that person for you to be stable, for you to be, feel good and be comfortable. I'm telling you, human beings are generally unstable. You see what you are saying? You are building on the instability of a human being, to be fulfilled in life and live for a long time. It doesn't follow. It doesn't follow. You know. Now, let me say this: that if your sense of wholeness rests only on romance, your sense of wholeness and importance rests only on romance, and let me tell, if the only thing you bring to the table is, text me message, you give phone call, you send me money, you buy me clothes, you buy me, this, things, you spend all your life to correct your hair and put your nails and everything that you need to do on the outside to look romantic. Can I tell you that the emptiness is going to return sometime? There will be a shake-up. A time of shake-up will come. From the inside of you, suddenly discover that you don't need to spend so much, on your nails. Over time, you suddenly discover that, what's all these things? What's all these things? What's all these things? And some women even wake up to discover that I wasn't fixing these nails on this hair when the man got married to me. He loved me. There was something he loved about me. Not this hair, not these nails. I'm thinking I'm enhancing, the relationship. But over time, you will suddenly discover that when there's a shake-up, then you are what? You are going to suffer that inherent instability. Because you are depending on someone who is himself unstable. All right, so friends, let me just, maybe I should, let me, romance can comfort the heart, romance can comfort the heart, but only that satisfying that need of belonging, identity, and purpose. That is the raw thing. That's the true thing that can fulfill, that can fill you up. That's the emphasis of this video. Let's look at point. Now, I think I've reached point number 7. For this video not to be too long, let me quickly rush and identify 7 classes. I wouldn't want to take another video. Let it be the same one. Let me quickly identify 7 classes. I will make it as brief as possible. 7 classes of people who erroneously, mistakenly feel that romance is all they need. Yeah, romance is not for them in a relationship. These 7 classes of people I'm going to be mentioning, over time they wake up and discover they were wrong. They were sincere but sincerely wrong. That's the point. Now, the first class I want to mention are first-time daters. First-time daters, these are they are first-time daters, overexcited, emotionally inexperienced people. Over time, they will discover they goofed. They goofed seriously. But the excitement, the awareness and all of those things, that they have got a friend, they got a lover. This first-time daters fall prey to this kind of feeling that, romance is not enough. And they spend all their time doing the externalities, only to discover that the man needs something more. The man needs a woman with a sense of purpose. The man needs a woman with a sense of belonging, identity, a woman who has an identity, not just all that you are spending your money and time on. First time daters fall prey to this. They make that mistake of thinking that romance is all they need to stabilize a relationship, and that's not true. All right, let me look at the second category of people. People who grow up without stability in homes. They didn't experience love, they didn't experience any affection. They didn't experience any sense of security while they were growing up. This category of people will always think that if they have somebody who loves them, if they have somebody, in a romantic relationship, it will solve all the problem of insecurity, of the feeling, or the problem of growing up in a very, turbulent environment, or the problem of affection. They always have that feeling, but that's not true, and that's because of inexperience, and that's why they feel that romance is enough. It is not enough. This second category of people that make such mistakes. Third category are those who depend on the social media. They are social media oriented, where the social media create a very false impression. The very false impression as if everything is just romance, 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 romance. A woman will know how to cook. She wouldn't know how to cook. She won't learn how to cook, but it's just to look romantic and look, romantic with all the cuffs, display her body parts in the public, or let the man see, yes, he has a very romantic, my wife has those cuffs and all of that. It's not going to end up with that. That's a false image. The social media and the movies we watch, all those kind of culture, social media thing is a lie. It's a lie. It's not going to sustain any relationship for long. Romance does not sustain a relationship for long. So you're mistaken if you think that, what you're watching on the social media is how you want to pattern your life after. That's a mistake. Let me look at point number four. Point number four, or category of people number four, who suddenly wake up to discover that they thought that romance is all they need to stabilize the relationship, but all of a sudden they have discovered that it doesn't work out that way. These are people people who are lonely but ignorant that relationship is not everything. They are actually lonely, but they are thinking that everything about them is relationship. Can I tell you, friends? Let me tell you something. Relationship, romance has its own place. Romance has its own place. Can I tell you something? I want to repeat that so that you can get it right. It doesn't matter who you are, whether you're single or married. Romance has its own place, but romance is limited. For someone to estimate you and value you far, far more than, the bedtime activities, touch me, I touch you, there must be a sense of mission in life. Why are you created? Why are you existing? Nothing feels you like God. Nothing feels the emptiness of the spirit of a man. Your partner may feel, the emotional part of you, the soul part of you, and of course, all of these things tell on the body. Whether it's God-filled person tells on the body, whether it's a human being filled, the soul-filled person, it tells on the body, and all of that. The body is just a housing. It's just a zombie that goes along that way. Are you with me now? So the emptiness is going to return if you are going to be thinking that if you have a partner, you just need a relationship. It's not good to be alone. Yes, I know it's not good to be alone, but all you are bringing to the table is the romantic nature. I'm very romantic. Well, he can't do without me. It's a big lie. It's a big lie. You suddenly expire over time. God will help you. Let's look at category of people number 5 who are mistaken, thinking that romance is enough to retain a relationship. These are people who use romance like anesthesia. They use romance like anesthesia. When they have, this trauma, when they say trauma, they have boredom, they have shame, they are purposeless. They are purposeless. They have this anxiety, and they just use romance like anesthesia. You know what anesthesia does? It will numbs the pain. It brings about numbness to the pain of trauma, or the purposelessness, the boredom, the shame you're experiencing. That your romantic, is going to numb it for a time. But can I tell you something? Anesthesia does not heal. Ask the medical experts. Anesthesia is not a drug that heals. It only numbs pain. So if you think that your romantic nature, romantic looks is, all that you need. You're only trying to numb the pain. Unfortunately, the pain returns when when there's the hard time fades. The pain is going to return. God will have mercy upon you. Don't use romance as anesthesia to calm tensions or calm nerves and all of that. Get important. Add value. God is going to help you. Please tell your partner what I'm saying. Tell your friend what I'm saying. For him or her not to expire. Men expire, women expire. For them not to expire. Tell them that they must discover their sense of belonging, their identity, and their purpose for living. Category of people who make this mistake of thinking romance is not for relationship. Number 6 category are young adults. These are people, young people, teenage people, and all of that. Who just feel that they are so excited that they found their emotions run wild. To them, emotions are louder than philosophy. To them, emotions are louder than principles of life. These are young people. These are teens. These are people in their early 20s and perhaps late 20s too, and all of that. Their philosophy is overpowered, overwhelmed by the emotions. Their emotions, romantic emotions. They just find somebody there who smile at them and all of that, and they think that's all. I don't know how long that will continue. I don't know how long that will sustain that relationship. But what the point we are making here is that love is not enough. It may feel true, it's not enough. Over time, as life matures, you suddenly discover that you are mistaken. God is going to help. Let's look at the last category of people, okay? Time to wrap up this video now. Last category of people who make the mistake of thinking that romance is enough, in a relationship. These are people with no source of meaning, outside of what is, romance, love. There's no source of meaning. They don't have a reason why they exist. No source of meaning for life as far as they are concerned, more than just their bodies. They look romantic. That's the source of meaning to them. As far as they're here, they're just here. They're just here in this life, to fulfill others. They don't have a sense of purpose and all of that. No sense of purpose. Let me tell you that romance, raises, emotional feelings and all of that, but it will soon dash them. Those emotional feelings soon get dashed and disappears over time. Let it be drummed into you listening now, you watching now. Tell your friend, tell your brothers, tell your sisters, tell your girlfriend, tell your boyfriend, tell your husband, tell your wife, tell everyone that, look, romances and all these romantic tendencies over time wanes and fades. What sustains the relationship is beyond romance. That's why with the topic we've been dealing with is beyond romance. Why people still feel empty despite the romantic or love relationship that they have. I believe sincerely that God Almighty will help you beyond what we can even imagine. May the Lord establish you and give you wisdom to understand that you need God to fill you. God's presence in your life will give you a sense of purpose. And then the existential foundation that you'll be laying will be beyond what romantic foundation. Can I tell you something? Somebody with a sense of belonging, a sense of identity, a sense of purpose is ever romantic, is ever appealing, is ever acceptable, is ever pleasant. But anyone just depending on romance expires over time. May God help you that at the end of the day, you will have to maintain. You have what it takes to maintain that a wonderful relationship. God bless you, and the Lord establish your relationship. And as I always say, please subscribe. Make your comments in the comment section. It will help me to improve more. The like is there. Like it. Like the video. And then also, what else will I do? Press the notification bell. God bless you. Thank you so much for being a wonderful audience. Please write in. I'd like to improve. The Lord bless you.